Hello, welcome to my weekly look ahead video. Now, this week we are finishing off the United Kingdom Internal Markets Bill, which has been so controversial, and I've spoken in debates on it and said why I couldn't support certain parts of the bill, and you can see that report on my Facebook page. We're also this week dealing with the Coronavirus Emergency Act, and I've had a lot of emails, quite understandable, from people who are questioning why we are not scrutinising that legislation more closely, and I agree with that, which is why I have signed the so-called Brady Amendment, which would subject the legislation to more debates and votes in Parliament. That happens on Wednesday. We'll see if the government do come up with some form of compromise to agree that. I think it's really important that there's a much better explanation to people of why these regulations are necessary, exactly the impact they're having and how long they may likely go on for, and I raised that with the Prime Minister last week. Now, I've got a whole load of meetings this week on non-controversial stuff. I've got a meeting with the RSPB about their green recovery plan. I've got a meeting around the situation in Hong Kong and the oppression by China there. I've got a meeting about finance for children's social care sector I'm very interested in. I've got briefings in the House of Lords on the immigration bill, where we're still trying to get changes to help the family reunion programme and unaccompanied child refugees coming to the UK. Later in the week it's the AGM for Lancing Business Park, which I'm hoping to zoom into, as well as the AGM for Guildcare, that fantastic Worthing charity, and I shall be speaking at a meeting on kinship care and a new report that's being produced. Friday I've got a busy day as well in the constituency. I'm going to be visiting Sussex University. It's going to be interesting to see how they're coping with the huge challenges on students who are going back to university now and the outbreaks of coronavirus that we've seen. I've got a meeting for the Diana Award, great charity mentoring scheme. I'm going to be visiting a care home in Shoreham again to see how they are coping with COVID at the moment. We've got a meeting with some of the new PCSOs who have recently been appointed and are gradually getting out there in the community, and we need them to do so. I'm then going to be in Fishersgate, where there's a problem with one of the nurseries, which due to lack of demand is likely to close down, and I'm meeting with residents to see if there's anything we can do to get demand for that nursery, or whether somebody else can take it over. So I'm very involved with Southwick at the moment, because we've also had a really successful meeting, I'm glad to say, about how we can save the St John's Ambulance Hall in Southwick, which was one of those they were threatening to close as part of a cost-cutting exercise with St John's Ambulance, who've been particularly hard hit by COVID. And there's some really good news there, and I'll be announcing more details on the appeal in the near future. And then finally this weekend we have the Conservative Party conference, which is going to be a bit strange because it's going to be virtual this year, so I should be zooming into that and we'll see what happens. So another busy week in Parliament.